Every company out there is constantly looking for that next big growth engine, right? But what if the old playbook, the one they've been using for a century, is just broken? Today, we're going to dig into a brand new strategy that could totally reshape the future of business. It's called exoacquisition. For as long as modern business has existed, there's been this one constant pressure: grow or die. It's the name of the game. So companies are always on the hunt for that next big leap forward. But the usual paths, they're just getting rockier and a whole lot riskier. And that brings up this huge fundamental question. For decades, the go-to move for any kind of ambitious growth has been mergers and acquisitions. You just buy another company. But is that model, which was born in a totally different era, really the best we can do? What if there's a smarter, faster, more agile way to get the same results? And here's the classic problem. A company can either merge with a competitor or acquire a smaller one. But both of those paths are, let's be honest, famously difficult. I mean, think about the insane upfront costs, the integration processes that drag on for years, and of course, the inevitable clash of company cultures that can just poison a deal from the inside out. Okay, so if the old way is broken, what's the alternative? This is exactly where this new idea of exoacquisition comes into play. And it's a fundamentally different way of thinking about how to grow. So what is it? Well, at its core, an exoacquisition is like a surgical strike for growth. Instead of buying the entire company, you strategically integrate just one key piece. Maybe it's their best technology, a brilliant team, or a critical asset. It's all about creating this deep, symbiotic connection instead of a really costly and messy takeover. I absolutely love this quote because it just makes the concept so simple to grasp. Forget the headache of buying the whole house, right, with its leaky roof and all its problems. Just find the one perfect room, that amazing kitchen or that killer home office, and build a seamless hallway directly into your own place. That's the elegant thinking behind exoacquisition. And let's be crystal clear here. This is not just a fancy new name for a joint venture or a strategic partnership. Those are often pretty shallow, pretty temporary. And it's definitely not a traditional acquisition. It really is something new, a true symbiosis, where two companies create something new and more powerful together, all while staying independent. Okay, so that sounds great in theory, but how would this actually work in the real world? Let's dive into the playbook and see how this idea actually becomes a practical strategy. The whole process really breaks down into 4 logical stages. First, it starts with precision. You have to identify the exact external asset you need. Then, you become an architect. You design the technical and operational handshake between the two companies. Step 3 is the execution. This is where you plug that new asset directly into your own operations. And, critically, the final stage is all about being dynamic. You constantly measure the results and evolve that connection together with your partner. And this comparison just makes the difference pop. I mean, look at the contrast in every single key metric. A traditional acquisition means full ownership, which sounds great, but it leads to painfully slow integration, sky-high costs, and just massive risk. Exoacquisition completely flips the script. No ownership burden, super fast integration, low costs, and the risk is neatly contained to just the project itself. The upside here is just staggering. When you start thinking this way, it doesn't just change one single company. It has the potential to totally reshape the entire business landscape, the whole universe. And maybe the biggest jaw-dropper is speed. The time to value, that's how long it takes for a deal to actually start creating benefits, shrinks dramatically. Instead of waiting 2, maybe 3 years for an acquisition to finally pay off, you could start seeing real gains in as little as 6 months. In today's economy, that kind of speed is a revolutionary advantage. And what about the cost? Well, by completely avoiding the change of ownership, you just strip out mountains of legal fees, due diligence, and all that integration friction. We're talking about potential savings as high as 90%. Now that is not an incremental improvement. That is a total game changer. And don't think for a second this is limited to just one sector. I mean, think about software companies integrating through APIs instead of buying each other out. Biotech firms sharing specific research modules to speed up discovery. Media companies sharing vast libraries of content. Or manufacturers integrating a highly specialized process from a partner. The applications are literally everywhere you look. So what's the really big takeaway from all this? There is an immense amount of value trapped inside companies today. We're talking brilliant technologies, unique processes, incredible teams, all just stuck inside corporate silos, completely inaccessible to the rest of the world. Exoacquisition isn't just a new kind of deal structure. It could be the key that finally unlocks trillions of dollars of that latent value. All of which brings us to this final thought. This model is new, for sure, but it feels inevitable. The logic is just too powerful to ignore. So it leaves us with this fascinating question to think about. Who's going to be the pioneer? What will be the first great exo acquisition that we all end up studying for years and years to come?